Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie, Esther here, and today Dead by Daylight put out a tweet talking about the 1-year anniversary of the archives, and there's some pretty interesting information in here. I haven't read through the whole thing. I just had somebody send me one snippet of it, and I'm like, I need to make a video about this right away. By the way, that balloon you see there is for my own birthday, not the 1-year anniversary of the archives. Today is my birthday, but I'm still here bringing you the content you deserve because you're worth it. All right, so let's see here. We have this tweet on the Dead by Daylight Twitter account. It says, let's celebrate 1 year of archives with a retrospective of the year. And then when you click that link, it takes you to this State of the Archives article on the official deadbydaylight.com website. Dead by Daylight, the Archives 1 year anniversary, State of the Archives, October 19th, 2020. That's my birthday. All right, here we go. Welcome back, explorers of the archives. It's hard to believe that it's already been a year, but time flies when you're working on your challenges and earning cool rewards. We hope you've all been enjoying uncovering and exploring the new lore we've been adding with each release. With a full year behind us, we felt it was a good time to take stock and talk about where we see this feature going in the future. Okay? Dead by Daylight wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for all of you, so we wanted to also share this with you for a glimpse at where we're going. A very busy year. Awakening, Reckoning, Escalation, and Conviction were the first 4 tomes of the archives here in year 1. But first, let's look back at what we've done so far. Introduced back in October 2019, our first entry into the archives, Tome 1, Awakening, gave us a glimpse into the childhoods of Claudette Morel and the Trapper as our first main characters. Halloween also brought us the perfect time to use this as a medium for continuing our Hallowed Blight storyline forward for the Alchemist, now known as Talbot Grimes, aka the Blight, and introduced our mysterious Observer to the world. Here is an anniversary infographic including some fun facts and data about this past year as we head into Tome 5. Have a look. Dead by Daylight Archives Year 1 Anniversary. 2,664,000 players were exploring the archives. That's so cool. 433,266 rifts were completed. Nice. Ooh. 128 million plus tiers unlocked. 138 million plus challenges completed. 608 million Oryx cells were unlocked. 923 million total rift fragments and 14 character stories told. 608 million Oryx cells unlocked. That's an incredible number when you consider that, you know, you can only get 1,000 back. Well, I guess you get 1,000 back per tome. That's true. If you make it all the way through. Still, that's a hefty number. 25,000 years spent completing the challenges. It's been so long. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of time that people spent completing their challenges. 50 million survivors sacrificed. 6 million survivors escaped. 2.2 million generators repaired. 2.1 million totems cleansed. 312 million crows spooked. The poor crows. Nobody ever thinks of the crows. They don't deserve to get scared that much. You know, they're misunderstood, these crows. Thank you to the community. See you deeper in the fog. Wow, what a great year. Man, our player base has just exploded, hasn't it? These are just some incredible numbers. 923 million total rift fragments earned. I'm so happy. I never really knew if we would get this, you know, this big a community. I'm so happy that Dead by Daylight's available on so many platforms and the game continues to grow. I couldn't be more pleased, honestly. I always felt like this was a game that not as many people knew about that should know about it, and to see the game grow and grow as we've gone on, it just makes me so happy. All right. Impact of the archives. The world of Dead by Daylight pre-archives was a very different one, so let's take a look at everything that came from it. More varied gameplay. We've been able to spice up gameplay with varied and interesting challenges, asking our players to go the extra mile to unlock all the rewards. I would agree with that. Definitely some of the challenges made me play in a different way and discover things about certain perks that I maybe necessarily would not have uncovered on my own if I wasn't introduced to them through challenges. Deeper lore. Every new tome brings with it a deeper understanding about our characters, new and old. I love the lore. World building. The world of Dead by Daylight is growing. If you haven't been keeping up with the log entries by the Observer, now's your chance to catch up and get a glimpse as to what's to come. There are some things in there that he's been hinting about. I haven't really done a lot of videos about the lore. I think I should go back. Now that we're a year in, I should revisit some of the previous tomes and things for people who are just coming in and catching up. Yeah. I always like to let people discover the lore on their own. As much as I'm the guy who's trying to like get the news about what's to come, for some reason I just have a different take on this because everybody can find this out on their own just by going through and doing the challenges and discovering the lore themselves. So I've always taken a different tack when it comes to this lore. More cosmetics. Not only has the Rift added tons of new outfits for our featured characters on every release, but it's also introduced charms. These creative cosmetics each pack a lot of story and are a cool way to customize your survivor and or your killer's hook. Community support. All this would be nothing without you who've been so active in the fog. We love reading about everyone's theories on our characters and the world of the archives, watching you discuss the newest content, sharing your excitement over each story's final animatic reward, and going nuts over every new cosmetic that's released. Let's be honest. Can we get some applause for the art team here? Yeah, yes we can. Yes we can. I love all of the Rift cosmetics. I think they're just such a great value for your Rift Pass, honestly. We also know that there have been some parts of the archives that can be improved. We're always doing our best to plan an exciting release every 3 months with new content and improvements you will all love. But sometimes it can be tough being a live game and you take a curveball or two to the face once an update is released. Just as with Dead by Daylight, the archives is as much owned by the community as it is by us, sometimes even more so by all of you. Keep playing, keep commenting, and keep sharing feedbacks. I will say that I feel like the devs are very receptive and have their fingers on the pulse about what everybody's talking about in the community, and they're very receptive to making changes. Now, changes aren't always as quick for everyone as some would like, but I do think they are listening and are always making what they believe are the best interests, changes in the best interest for the game. Future of the archives. With all this out of the way, let's look at some of the cool content you can look forward to with the upcoming year 2 of the archives. More challenge types. It's time to bring the world to you and into your trial. While one of these new challenges is active, players will spawn a specified interactable item into their trials. We've tons of interesting ideas coming for these in the future, including some you may have already seen in one form or another. So this is talking about the Halloween event, the Eternal Blight. There's going to be some challenges on the Oris web of the archives that if you choose them, they're going to spawn the visceral canker plants into the map, and you'll have to harvest them as an extra challenge. But the plants are only going to appear if you have the challenge selected. That's my understanding of it anyway. We'll find out more on Wednesday when all that goes live. So this is what I believe it was rumored that this was previously called a red glyph challenge, I believe. So red glyph is probably the placeholder for what these in-game challenges are going to be to make the interactable items appear. All right, archives outfits unarchived. Aha! You can't keep cool cosmetics down, it seems. As announced back when we released the archive, some outfits from the Rift will begin making their way into the store. The first of these will be the Nurse's Foul Nightingale from the Hallowed Catalyst collection. Expect to see this drop in store later this month with the mid-chapter update. Nice. Remaining outfits will still see a minimum of 6 months after the end of their Rift before entering the store. We'll continue to keep you updated on this as we progress further with the archives. All right, so the Hallowed Blight Nurse is going to be the first one to show up in the shop. And hopefully more to come, because I know there's people who missed out on like Tome 1 who want to get Claudette's outfit, stuff like that. I hope that they will continue to release outfits into the shop. It's probably going to be based on community reaction as to how many come out. I know there are some people who feel like they worked hard to get certain outfits unlocked in the Rift and they don't like the idea of people buying them. I really don't understand that, because if you worked hard to get it, nobody can take that away from you. You earned it. I don't understand what someone else being able to buy it has to do with you and your pride and your time, effort that you spent. I don't get it. Like, I've made this comparison before to my neighbor who grows vegetables. He puts a lot of time and effort in growing his vegetables, and you know, obviously he sees the vegetables mature and he's able to appreciate them, and all his hard work pays off. And I really don't think he gives a flip if I go across the street and buy vegetables at the grocery store. And I think it's two completely different things. He doesn't care what I do to get my vegetables, because he knows how he got his vegetables and the pride and time and effort of making that happen. But anyway, some people get upset about that. If it was me, I would just put everything in the store. But I really think it's going to be community reaction to see how many items we're going to get. License archives. What? Okay, this was the thing that somebody sent to me that I was like, I got to read this and make a video right now. If there's one thing you can expect from licensed characters, it's for them to not stay quiet. We've got a few looking to tell their stories, and the archives is a perfect way to do it. Keep an eye out for some familiar faces making their way into a Tome and Rift soon. Huh. Again, thanks to all of you for making this game and its community as lively as it is. 2020 has been a very unique year so far, with its own unique set of challenges, and we can only hope that Dead by Daylight has managed to make it a little bit more bearable, if not enjoyable, for each and every one of you. You could say that again. See you in the fog, the Dead by Daylight team. Wow, so licensed archives. Well, I would have to say that Ghostface seems like the most likely character, Danny Johnson, to make his way into the archives, because he is owned by Funworld, and Funworld has been very open about working with Dead by Daylight to create stuff that isn't canon. I mean, it isn't Scream, right? So it has nothing to do with the movies. So Danny Johnson is basically Dead by Daylight's own character that they put forward, and RJ Torbert and Funworld approved. So that seems like the most likely one to have an archive story to tell as a licensed character. But they do say characters here. So, wow, what are the odds here? What would you say would be the most likely next one to appear? I would have to go with Leatherface, just because we heard rumors of a Leatherface cosmetic coming. So if you're already at the table writing new contracts to do something with a licensed character and getting approval, maybe it's going to be Leatherface. Amanda Young, saw people seem to have a very good relationship with Dead by Daylight. That would be probably my top three. At the bottom of the barrel, I would have to put Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street, because that one is such a complicated license right now. And it was already hard to get anything extra from them when you had only one party that held the license. Now that you have more than one party sharing the license, I think Nightmare on Elm Street just becomes even more complicated. But wow, I would love them all. Here we've all been thinking that they were going to run out of original characters to do tomes for, and they would burn through all their characters. And now there's a new lease on life, the fact that they're going to be able to do some licensed character stories. Wow, wouldn't that be cool to see some Leatherface animatics in the archives? This is incredible news, honestly. I don't think anyone would have predicted this. Again, beyond perhaps the shot at Danny Johnson. I've had this question asked to me many times. I said maybe Ghostface, and that would be the end of it. Nobody else would do it. But here it says licensed characters. We've got a few. So there's more than one. That's very, very interesting. Huh. Well, it looks like this is going to be an exciting year for Archives. Year 2. I hope y'all have had as much fun as I have going through the first year of the Archives. And I cannot wait for the Eternal Blight event lumped in with the Archives to begin on Wednesday. I'll be here at launch on Wednesday, diving into all that with all of you. All right. Well, that's all I have for you today. That was a very good read with a lot of interesting information. Why didn't they talk about this? We had a half an hour of Matthew Cote talking about licensing on the dev stream, and he danced around a whole lot of things. Oh, well, I guess maybe he wanted to save the big news for the team to reveal. All right, well, that was some pretty big news. That's all I have for you today. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. What licensed character do you want to see in the Rift telling their stories? Let me know in the comments down below. Take care of each other and on the fog. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.